JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 9th of June 2021. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session, where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the NASDAQ 100, and we are, yesterday we saw that little kind of correction here to the downside. However, given that the index opened with a gap to the upside, it's still closed in positive territory. So looking at all this, basically we can say that there is still hope that the index could drift north. And if we take a look at the cash index, we'll see that the price is currently trading at around 13,853 territory, so which is slightly above yesterday's close. Now, if we can say that if it continues to trade somewhere above this territory, above the 13,815 territory, I've mentioned this level before. This is the high of the 7th of May. If we trade above that, and by the way, I think that's no, sorry, I thought that's the highest point of May, but no, that's the high of the 7th of May. So if we continue to trade above this, then my next target is the highest point of May, near the 13,955 territory right here, which, as I said, this 13,955 level, that's what I'm going to be aiming for next. So again, let's see how today's trading session is gonna go through, but at the moment there is a bit of positivity, I would say. And like I said, looking at the cash index is also trying to make its way higher. Now, coming back to the German index, DAX, and we initially saw this nice decline, and not only that, we also saw a break of this upside line taken from the low, the 27th of May. So in a way, there is a chance here to see further declines. However, certain breaks are required still, as you can see here. So we need to see the daily candle at least staying below this upside line, this short-term one, and this upside line taken from the low, the 27th of May. Then, in order to kind of aim for further declines, and of course, a break of this upside line drawn from the low of the 13th of May. A break of this line is also needed in order to get comfortable with, like I said, further declines. But we'll take it as it is, guys, right now. I mean, we're seeing a nice rebound here from the area very close to the 21-day EMA, and we're climbing back above this upside line right here. So if it stays today above this upside line, then maybe we're not really done with the upside. And let's see how this is going to play out today. Now, DXY, the dollar index, so drifting to the downside again. However, for the past kind of 3 days, it has been somewhat of a roller coaster ride here. As you can see, it's now kind of drifting back down. It's almost in it's in a range here. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart, you'll see that there is a slight range here. So basically, with this little period right here, so we're kind of moving sideways at the moment. And if you kind of if you are a believer of, let's say, this strategy, where let's say when we enter some sort of consolidation period, like a range, or maybe we start coiling up, like forming a triangle pattern, but the prevailing trend was to the downside, for example, in this scenario, then maybe the breakout could happen to the downside as well. So of course, this is one of the theories. Certainly, don't get me wrong, doesn't always happen. Of course, it does happen, but not always. So that's why we need to always wait for the confirmation break. And here in this scenario, to be honest, what I'm looking at here is, of course, this little short-term upside support line taken from below the 25th of May. And then, yes, we could take it from there, guys. So for now, long story short, we will be very careful, very cautious here. And for me, for the upside, for example, I need to see a push back above the 90.23 territory right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, because at the same time, the index would be placed back above the 21-day EMA. However, at the moment, we're kind of drifting away from that 21-day EMA, so there is a bit of indication that we could see further declines. However, we have an upside line which we need to violate first, and then we'll see what he wants to do after. Silver. Silver is it's trying to do something here, or should I say the bulls and the bears are trying to do something here. So far, it is excuse me. Excuse me. So far, it is a little bit unclear, because if you want to go for the upside, well, a push back above this upside line, and maybe even better, not even this upside line, because depending on how this is going to trade further, maybe we'll actually get rid of this upside line. And we'll keep an eye just on the, let me just adjust this very quickly, there we go. Maybe we'll just keep an eye on this 28.23 territory right here, which kind of is acting as a nice area of resistance. So if we climb above it and stay above it, then yes, we'll aim for those higher levels. But at the moment, we're given that we are currently sitting just on that 21-day EMA, of course, don't get me wrong, the downside scenario is not off the table, given that we're also still trading below this upside line. So yep, we can keep an eye on that scenario as well, the downside scenario. But for that, I would need to see the daily candle remaining below the 27.40 zone. Ripple. Ripple is still respecting the 200-day EMA. However, we are still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 20th of May. Of course, after we broke the upside line right here, we traveled higher. And slightly higher, we traveled lower, there we go. And once we broke the upside line, we traveled lower, but we found good support near the 200-day EMA, and yep, for now, this area is providing its decent support. If you want to look at some higher levels, to be honest, a break of this downside line is only a break of this upside line is not going to be enough, because still I would prefer to see a push above that 1.0606 territory, the one that I mentioned previously, because so far it seems to be acting as a nice area of resistance. For the downside, given that we're still trading below the downside line, we are trading here near this 0.7910 zone, a break of which is required in order to get a little bit more comfortable with further declines. Now, jumping into a few pairs very quickly. So yeah. AUD USD is yep, of course, the pair is enjoying the slight weakness of the DXY, and yep, we're still trading above the 21-day EMA. So in a way, we can say that maybe there is some positivity here. Yes, there could be, but this positivity might be short-lived, because overall, let's not forget that we're trading within the this kind of triangle pattern here. We're kind of currently getting squeezed slightly. So yep, for now, long story short, basically, guys, let's keep an eye on this area, on this level right here, the 0.7814, and of course this downside line, because If it all provides good resistance, then maybe we'll see another slide. But at the moment, guys, I would say that as long as it stays above the 21-day EMA, yes, it has a good chance to travel a little bit higher. But if it suddenly starts drifting back down, then aim for that 100-day EMA together with the 0.7675 level right here, and then we'll take it from there. USDCAD still waiting for the Bank of Canada to announce its interest rate decision. Of course, then we'll have the press conference after that, after the interest rate decision. So be very careful then. So at the moment, it seems that there is no clear time for the press conference. So don't be surprised, for example, if you see the kind of, let's say, the pair being, let's say, somewhat flat during the interest rate decision. But then, yep, it could pick up volatility on the press conference once the once the Bank of Canada starts delivering its policies. So talking about its policies. So yeah. So for now, again, we're kind of drifting back below this downside line. In a way, I can say that we can actually get rid of this upside line, and instead maybe we could reuse it and draw an upside one right here, which is also still in play. So this little pattern here, of course, is seen as a possible ascending triangle. These patterns, of course, tend to break to the upside according to all the TA rules. But again, I'll stick to my my rule. I will wait for a push above the 1.2133 territory in order to aim for some higher levels. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 1.2013 territory right here in order to consider some lower levels. GBPJPY, something that I talked about recently, and basically I said to you to keep an eye on this 154.84 territory right here, which, as you can see, currently is getting violated, and we are seeing a drift back down. However, don't get me wrong, in the past couple of days, we also kept on breaking this level and drifting lower, but then at the end of the day, we kind of climbed back, and you see the daily candle remained above this hurdle. So again, we might see the same scenario here today, so let's be careful. If we do see the daily candle remaining below this level, below the 154.84, then yes, we'll get a little bit more excited with the downside, and yep, we could aim for some lower levels. For now, we're just observing this one. Yes, it looks attractive for the downside, but to be honest, I don't want to get caught out here, like here, for example, where we had these false breakouts, and and then we saw the daily candle still remaining above the 154.84 zone. Now Euro TRY, so the euro against the Turkish lira, and yes, so here. So here we have an upside line, which is currently getting tested. So this upside line is drawn from the low the 16th of April. So if you want to go for the downside, yes, we need to see a break and a daily candle staying below this area, below this upside line, below this 10.40. But let's round it up here a little bit, 46, something like that. If it stays below that, then yes, we could consider maybe lower levels. But at the moment, it is a bit of a difficult one here. So on one hand, we have an upside line which still remains intact. On the other hand, we have an overstretched pair, which could be due for a bit of a corrective move. However, confirmation moves are still needed. Euro Aussie. Now this one's interesting. So after we saw that hold up near the 200-day EMA, we reversed south and drifted lower, found support near the 21-day EMA, and now we're seeing this little nice pattern here. So the so-called bullish 3, and again, this could, in a way, be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. I mean, some of you might even say that maybe this is a possible bearish flag here. So everything could be possible, but either way, we would need to see a nice good drop somewhere below the 1.5691 zone right here, and a drop below the 100-day EMA. Yep, could open the door towards lower levels, but let's not forget that the move lower could still be excuse me, it's seen as a temporary correction overall, because we're still trading above this upside line taken from the low the 25th of February. So keep that in mind. And finally, EURUSD, so pushing nicely to the upside, and yep, we're breaking this upper side of the pattern that I spoke about previously. However, I would say that wait for the daily candle to end, because at the moment, yes, we're having a nice break, but will we have this as a false breakout like we had here, for example, on the 1st of June? Well, let's see how it's going to play out. But at the moment, I mean, I'm not really too excited about the upside. For now, I'm just being careful here. I just want to see where this is going to end, and to be honest, tomorrow I'm going to pick up on this one, and we'll see what we can squeeze out of this one going into for Thursday, and going into Friday as well. Of course, euro dollar, keep your eyes on the pair tomorrow. It might not move much today, for example, but tomorrow we do have a bit of data coming out, so it's quite important data. And tomorrow we have the ECB interest rate decision. Of course, no surprises there, but then we'll have the press conference when Christine Lagarde will be talking on the policy and discussing it, everything. And yeah, this is when we could see a bit of volatility in the pair. So keep that in mind. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes. I really do that. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.